Mergers and acquisitions is the another chapter which is there for your exams, and this chapter was completely covered by Vasanta ma'am in the class. I had covered theory and half of portions for P and Q. Later problems were sent through videos during lockdown time, and I hope you have followed all those. I never got any feedback from any student that time, only now we are coming up with doubts. I don't know why all these days you were so quiet with all this. We repeatedly kept on asking, are you understanding? Give us the feedback. Nothing we got. And now we are asking all of a sudden, everything cannot be taught in this short span of time. You need to practice regularly to have command over the subject. Otherwise, definitely will face difficulty. Always practice makes the man perfect. Practice properly to have the grip over the subject. Only then you can do it properly. We'll try to do our best to make you understand, but as we are not meeting regularly and it is not possible to do in the regular method, you need to be more cautious when you are learning. Mergers and acquisitions, the topic which I am starting now, these are your corporate grant strategies. These are the strategies used by the business to eliminate competition, to expand its business, or to diversify its business, or to get the synergy benefit, or to reduce the cost, to increase their profit, survive in the long run. There are manifold benefits which are expected from mergers and acquisitions. These are happening in all fields, especially in banking. You might have seen recently the corporation bank Andhra Bank with Union Bank became one bank together, and Vijaya Bank is acquired by Bank of Baroda. Very frequently you can see, and I also happen to see in the newspaper the Byju's company is planning to acquire the White Hat Junior company. Both are edutech companies. So whenever you have these competitors, competition, cutthroat competition, to survive in the business, to face the competition, this is one of the strategy which is used by the companies. Now, forms of expansion. Whenever company thinks of expanding its business, there are two types. One is the internal expansion, another one is the external expansion or business combination. What is this internal expansion? Company is planning to expand its business activity, maybe by introducing the new product line, or maybe by adding more share capital. That means internally it is expanding its business by venturing out to new products or new lines. So that is called internal expansion, expanding by itself. And what is external expansion? It is going for acquisition or merger with outsider. It is trying to diversify its business by acquiring some other company. Then you have two companies getting merged into one, or one company getting acquired by the another, where you have combination of two companies. Like that, if it is happening where two companies are involved in the case, that is the case of business combination or external expansion. And there are various types of combinations you have, and the first one you have is merger or amalgamation. What is merger? Two or more companies getting merged into one. In the beginning I told you that Corporation Bank, Andhra Bank and Union Bank became one unit. That is the meaning of merger. All three companies got merged into one as union. And our Income Tax Act 1961 uses the term amalgamation for the merger. Both means same. So here generally we call it merger, but your Income Tax Act specifies it as the amalgamation. So therefore that term is used. And your amalgamation or merger can happen in two ways: through absorption and through consolidation. What is through absorption? If there are three companies, let's assume company A, company B, company C. Here A, B will lose its existence and only C will have the same name which will continue its business. These two will get absorbed into C. All companies lose this their existence except one company which will continue its business in the same name. That is the meaning of absorption, all getting absorbed into one. In case of consolidation, it doesn't happen. All companies may remain same after the merger, or they may get absorbed and start a new company called D. A plus B plus C before merger will remain same even after the merger A plus B plus C, or it may become D. Like this, if merger is happening, then it is merger through consolidation. Then you have acquisition and takeover, where one company is acquiring the another. A strong financial company will usually absorb the weak financial company. That is the normal meaning of acquisition or takeover. There are two types of takeover. One is friendly takeover, another one is the hostile takeover. What is friendly takeover? Now, in the beginning, I told you Byju's is planning to acquire the White Junior. Now, because of lockdown and this COVID 19, students are not going to the schools, children are playing at home, and to keep them studying, making practices regularly, parents are giving them to use these edutech based company apps to learn. So Byju's is one of such company which has become decacorn now, that is, which has become billion based valued company. And this company, to expand its business, it is acquiring the White Hat Junior company, which is also in the same field. Now this company has given the proposal, and White Hat Junior company is still trying to give its final answer, yes or no. So here the consent of the acquiring the acquiring company is taking consent of the other company which it wants to acquire. That is called friendly takeover, where the takeover proposals will be kept forward to the company which has to be acquired, and approval from them will be taken. In case of hostile takeover, it doesn't happen. So here what happens is that the A company wants to acquire B company, so it will not take any proposal to B company. Instead, it will purchase the shares of B company in the market. So in the secondary market, as you all know, listed companies will be traded on the exchanges. So directly it goes to the share market and purchases the shares of B company and becomes co-owner of this company. Finally, it will acquire. So like that, if they acquire the company, then it is called hostile takeover. Lastly, you have holding companies. You all know the meaning of holding and subsidiary companies. Any company which will have 51% of share in the another company will become the holding company. The company which is held by the holding company, where 51% ownership control will be there, and this has to follow the instructions of that company, will become the subsidiary company. That is the another pattern of combination we have. Then why companies goes for merger? This is very important. Actually, previously we used to ask this for 15 marks every year. Repeatedly we have been valuing the same answer. That's why maybe this time MCQs and we have no opportunity to value this answer. Now here there are various reasons involved. If you remember in the class, I had given you 10 MCQs to mix and match and understand why this happens. The first one is economies of scale. What is economies of large scale operations? You have learned this in economics before. In case of economies of large scale, more you produce, lesser is the cost per unit. So to bring down your cost of production, you are trying to go with the economies of scale. How this works in general, not in case of mergers, in general I'll give you example. Let's assume that student A, student B both are in PG. Both of them are paying 3000 per month. They got home. Finally they decided they will, both of them will go and try to find out a home for rent, for which they have to pay 1500, and other expenses will be around 2000. If you see, overall cost has come down 3500. Earlier together it was 6000. So this is the benefit. If you produce more you produce, lesser will be the cost per unit. because of the element of fixed cost. Rent remains same, but you are producing more, which is reducing your cost per unit. Next is the operating economics. What is this operating economics is that there is duplication of efforts. Company A, company B, both will have clerk, both will have accounts manager, both will have finance manager, both will have manager who will give the work to everyone. So both will have all operations which are repeated in both companies. There is duplication of efforts. So when there is duplication of efforts, even cost will double. So two times you are paying. In order to reduce this, you become one company so that you will have only one HR, one manager, you have only one clerk, and overall your cost will reduce. So these duplication of efforts which are happening in both cases can be reduced by coming into one entity. That is the another concept. Then next one you have is the synergy benefit. What is synergy benefit? It is as simple as this. 1 plus 1 is 3, 2 plus 2 is 5. ಯು ಮೇ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಈ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾರು ಇವ್ರನ್ನ ಟೀಚರ್ ಮಾಡಿದರು ಅಂತ. ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಅಡಿಷನ್ನ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲೈಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವೆನ್ ಎವರ್ ಟೂ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಮರ್ಜ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್, the effect is multiplied and it is equal to 3. 1 plus 1 becoming 2 generally will become 3. 2 plus 2 will become 5. That is the benefit which you get because of economies of scale, operating economics, tax benefits, all these benefits which you are getting. This is increasing your overall benefit, and this concept is called synergy. And the next concept which you have is the growth. Whenever you reduce your duplication, whenever you reduce your cost, your profits will automatically increase, and your competitors with whom you are merging, that competition is also eliminated, and overall you can grow in the business. Next is the diversification. You want to enter some new field, you want to continue your business from in the field or the product which is not there in your existing portfolio. That is called diversification. And let's assume that you are a company which is manufacturing FMCG, fast moving consumer goods. Now you got to know that these edutech companies are doing so well in the pandemic. Therefore, you want to enter into edutech based companies. You don't have adequate infrastructure, you don't have skilled labor who can handle this, you don't have licenses required to start the business. Therefore, instead of starting from the scratch, if you go for merger with company which is already there, then it is the diversification, entering into new field with the help of merger or acquisition in which you are not there, currently not having that product in the portfolio. Then it is the utilization of tax shields. What is utilization of tax shields? Here girls, if A company, the financially sound company, is acquiring the B company which is continuously making losses from last 3 years or last 4 years, so here this becomes the sick company, actually continuously making losses, and it has machinery, it has skilled labor which you can utilize later. So keeping that in mind, you are acquiring this company. Whenever you acquire a loss making company, all these losses, accumulated losses of last 3 years, you can set off, you get an opportunity to set off all these losses. This will reduce your taxable income. You can use this as the tax shield. Merger or acquisition becomes a tax shield for you. Accumulated losses of the loss making company can be offset by the profit making company in the future after acquiring or merging. Therefore, its taxable revenues will decrease, which is the another benefit. Then increase in value. What is increase in value? Let's assume that there are three competitors in the business, A, B, C. Turnover of A is 200 crores, B is 300 crores, and C is 500 crores. So this is the value of each company individually. But if you add all these three, overall ABC company will have overall value of 1000 crores. So globally this will be recognized. A 1,000 crore company means it will have some different status, different value in the market. So merger will overall increase the value, because values added together will increase the overall value or impression about that company in the market. Then it is the elimination of competition. If you see the merger of Vodafone and Idea, both were competitors before. Now it is the combined entity. So one competitor in the market is gone. Together it is one unit now. So that is the another advantage. Your competitor won't be there. You are in one company. Then it is better financial planning. What is this better financial planning, girls? Usually you have a concept called gestation period. What is gestation period? In the gestation period, you are waiting for the company to earn profits. If you start a business, initial days you will not get any profit. You need to wait for a certain period of time to earn profits. Maybe 3 years or 5 years, depends on the nature of the business what you are into. Now, both companies have to wait for 5 years. If this is the assumption in any field, if they merge together, this may reduce to 3 years. So when your gestation period decreases, that means your profits are coming in the near future. So you can think of reinvestment or diversification or paying higher bonuses to your employees, or to motivate them, or maybe declaring dividends and increasing your market share price, or listing your companies. Whatever financial plans you have, you can plan accordingly. So when you combine together, when your gestation period is reduced, why is the gestation period reducing? Because of economies of scale, because of synergy, because of tax shields, because of operating economies. All these benefits which you are getting is enabling you to earn profits very soon. That is how you are able to cope up with the situation. Last is the economic necessity. What is economic necessity? Sometimes when the company is in loss, the government may insist for acquisition of such companies by some financially strong company. That becomes the economic necessity. Then you have various types of mergers: horizontal merger, vertical merger, conglomerate merger. Horizontal merger is where both companies which are in the same product line or having same products will combine together. I told you Vodafone and Idea, which is one of such example, and I told you about the White Hat Junior and the Byju's. That is your horizontal merger. What is vertical merger? In case of your vertical merger, usually what happens is that maybe they want a forward integration or the backward integration. So in such a case it goes with the vertical merger. So in case of your forward integration, maybe you want them to have more suppliers, distributors and other network which is required to supply your goods to a consumer on time. In case of backward integration of vertical merger, that will not happen. Instead, here where you are trying to go with the merger of your raw material supplier or with any technical person who can help you in production, like that, if mergers are happening, then it is vertical merger. Lastly, you have conglomerate merger. In case of conglomerate merger, you are going to diversify your business. That means you are trying to enter new field, the field which you have not yet entered, the product which is not there in your portfolio. You want to enter some new field, which is your conglomerate merger. Remaining aspects will be continued in the next video. Thank you.